Hi, everyone. This is Colleen and Robyn with the Reiki Lifestyle Podcast. Really excited today to have our guest, Su Mach'ado from Brazil. And she is a Reiki master practicing and teaching Reiki in Brazil. She has also just joined the licensed teacher training program for the ICRT, and I am really blessed to be her mentor. So super excited to get to work together with her so regularly. Sue, do you want to just say hi real quick and then we'll get to it?
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with all of you, with Colleen and Robyn. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Well, and again, we're Colleen and Robyn. We have just quick announcements, ReikiLifestyle.com. We teach animal Reiki courses. We have some that are upcoming in November, and also Reiki 1 and 2, Reiki Master and Karuna Reiki Master, and social media. We're Reiki Lifestyle. Probably the other thing I always like to mention is that we have the Distance Reiki Share, and the Distance Reiki Share is Tuesday mornings from 9:30 to 11 Pacific time, and it's free, open to everyone online. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Sue and Robyn. Let's say hi to you.
Hello, everyone. Excited to be here as always. One of our favorite things to do is getting to talk to so many different people and hear all of their Reiki viewpoints. So glad to be here.
Great. Okay, so this is Sue, and Sue is a Brazilian Reiki practitioner and Reiki master. She is the founder of a Reiki center in Brazil. And Sue, can you go ahead and say what the name of your center is?
Is Centro de Treinamento de Reiki Felicidade.
So that will, of course, be written in the description for the podcast so that you can find her again. The same with all of her information will be there. Well, she offers Reiki classes in Portuguese and is a pioneer in teaching Holy Fire 3 Reiki and ICRT Animal Reiki in Portuguese. She's a professional member of the Reiki Membership Association and is in the process of being licensed as a licensed Reiki master teacher for the ICRT. She translated into Portuguese the Reiki master manuals, Usui Holy Fire 3 Reiki and Holy Fire 3 Karuna Reiki, authored by William Lee Rand, and she's in the process of translating the other ICRT manuals, including the Animal Reiki manual it's on the list for translation. Sue feels that one of her purposes is to help people deeply connecting with Reiki and its benefits, and has a vision that encompasses the origin of Reiki and its constant evolution. Her work is focused on Reiki in connection with animals. So Sue, can you say the name of your website and Instagram, and also how people can reach you with your email?
Sure. My website is Reiki e Felicidade, which means Reiki and Happiness .com. Reiki e Felicidade.com. And my Instagram is Reiki e Felicidade also.
And again, we'll put that in the description so that you guys can see it. Well, Sue, I'm just really excited to hear more about your story and how did you land where you are today with Reiki? Well, in wherever the conversation goes.
Well, I actually started as a lawyer. I was not a Reiki practitioner or a therapist, not a healer, not at all about that. And I felt I was not the right path. Many things happened with my health, and I was not happy. And then I changed everything. I was wondering if I should change my professional approach to what should I do. I was in a moment in my profession that I was really in a good moment, actually excellent moment, because I was in the exactly place that I planned my whole life to be. But I was not happy. My health was not good. And I was thinking what was happening with me in my life. Then I tried to change everything, but didn't know exactly what I should do. And I always loved my animals and all animals at all. And I was in a training of animal communication when I was with my dog there, was in presence training. And a Reiki practitioner offered to give some Reiki to my dog because he was not feeling well that day. And when she started to give some Reiki to him, I saw that moment and his face, how he was so relaxed and calm and enjoying that moment. And I thought, oh, I should learn this. This is really a good thing. Maybe if I learn how to do that, my dogs will have best health and a better health, and it could be really good thing. Then I decided that I should study it, but I was thinking about my dogs only. Then I went to Reiki training with a person that was specialized in animals, Reiki in animals, a veterinarian actually here in Brazil that was a pioneer talking about Reiki in animals here. And he is actually. And what happened is that I discovered that I should practice Reiki with myself and to be in a better health and balance. And as I was getting better and better and better, my dogs also were getting better and better and better. Then I changed everything because I felt so good, and all my problems related to my health just vanished away, and my emotions were much better. And I was happy. Suddenly, I was feeling really happy. And I discovered that I wanted to work with Reiki because many people started to ask me to give Reiki to them, to the animals. And then I saw that I was becoming a Reiki practitioner, therapist, as we call here in Brazil. And I started to offer Reiki to a lot of animals and had many experiences with ONGs and therapist dogs. And I opened a space to give Reiki to animals and people. And I started to understand this connection between the families and their animals and everything that was happening. And this made me feel really nice to see people getting better and happy and assist the people with Reiki. Then I just thought about having the master degree. Then I went to became a Reiki master, and I just decided to give Reiki 1 and 2 to some friends and family. I gave this training just to say thank you to them because they have helped me a lot. And doing that, I took some pictures and then I published them on Instagram, and people started to call me. Su, are you giving the classes, Reiki classes? I want you to give me some classes. Can you attune me to Reiki? And it started like that. I was not expecting this result like that. And it was like a real call to me. Then I started to give the classes and act as a therapist, a Reiki practitioner here. And it's like that happened.
I love how Reiki works. It sounds like it really answered your intention of looking for something different, but not knowing what it is. And so I love how Reiki orchestrates things to where even though you may go this way and this way on the path, just keep following that path and it leads you there.
Yes, it's exactly like that I feel. And it's impressive because since I became a Reiki practitioner, I could feel Reiki guiding my journey here. And I'm just listening and feeling what's happening. And always what I feel that Reiki is guiding me, it's completely right for my life and the life of my family. And it's going really well.
So share, oh, go ahead, Robyn.
I was just going to ask how long of a time span, like when did you start with that journey?
Sorry, I didn't understand exactly.
What year did that all start when you got your
Oh,
Reiki too? So how
yes,
long?
it's about 6 years ago.
Wow. Relatively speaking, that's kind of a short time. Yeah.
Yes, it's not so much time, but it's interesting. Some people that is working with the metaphysical field say to me that I was so intense with Reiki that it looks like so much more.
Yes.
And so probably it's like that.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
how long did it, because are you no longer a lawyer or practicing?
No, I stopped to be to practice as a lawyer. I think was 1950, 1915. Sorry, 2015. Problems with the numbers.
I was trying to think of that.
2015. It's the correct.
Okay, I was like,
That's amazing.
When? No, long time. No, sorry.
Anyway, go ahead, Robyn.
I just said that's just so amazing, and just the ability, that gift of yours to just listen to it and be guided by it.
Yeah, and there are so many blessings actually, because I could see Reiki supporting my family and myself in a way that I could never imagine could happen. As a dog that I had, that he has cancer and really bad, and the doctor's prognostic was not long. It was like 2 months, and what we wanted to give to him was really comfort and a good life. But actually, he lived 3 years in really good moment for him. He ate a lot, everything that he wanted, and walked and ran it and traveled with us, and we did a lot of things. So, and I really think that was Reiki that gave this blessing to him. And also, I think for my life was amazing because I was a really stressed lawyer, a really stressed lawyer. And then after Reiki, it is like everything is in the right way, even when it is difficult, because we have many difficult times in life. One thing that I say to my students that it's not that you are going to become a Reiki practitioner and your life is going to change and everything is perfect and you live in a place that is everything happy necessarily. It's the point of view of that changes. Your how you see the life changes, and the change that you make inside of you, that Reiki causes you to be easily to change things that you need. So you see the world differently, I think, after Reiki, and this is what changed everything for me.
Yeah, boy, I agree with that too. it shifts your perceptions. And I think even aside from that, it actually really brings in a level of consciousness that provides solutions. So clarity of thought, solutions, resources, and in addition to the perceptions. So I think it also activates our skills, like our natural, just personal skills to function, to manage life in those difficult situations. Sue, let's just go ahead and share. You were sharing about your story, and then also how Reiki is evolving in Brazil with your practice and Reiki in general.
Yes, Reiki in Brazil is really well accepted now. It's very interesting to watch how Reiki is developing here, because we have some people that is giving a scientific approach to Reiki. So we have some Reiki masters that are doing some scientific projects here, and it helps a lot to make people to trust in Reiki and use Reiki. Actually, we have some post-graduation studies, like a doctorate, some, I think, 2 doctorate degrees talking about the effects of Reiki in cancer, and a scientific master talking about the effects of Reiki in some people that is already aged. So how can they feel better with Reiki and their emotions? And this year we had research that was published by a laboratory that produces the vaccines here in Brazil, that's called Fiocruz. And they issued a study that was made with some women during the pandemic, and they were having the consults with psychiatric, and they were taking some medicine for emotional and some depression and things like that. And they received Reiki, distance Reiki. And this distant Reiki was with the therapist, the Reiki practitioner hearing the person before giving Reiki, just listening, what we call listening therapy, just not talking and saying what they should do or not to do, just listening the issues. And this study showed that these women get much better, and some of them had to stop to use the medicine, the psychiatric medicine that they were using, and got much better. So this study was with the doctors, the psychiatrists, and they said that they were much better. So Fiocruz issued a study saying that they suggest that everybody receives Reiki for emotional and mental issues. It's amazing.
That's so amazing.
That's fantastic.
Wow. And so
Yes.
changed how it's perceived with the kind of a lot of people, like the general population.
Yes, it's very interesting, because not so much time ago, when I started with Reiki, I used to say, I work with Reiki, I am a Reiki practitioner. And people look at me like, what's that? And after the pandemic, people look at for Reiki a lot because of emotional issues, and also because of healthy issues. So I worked a lot during the pandemic with people that were with depression, anxiety, and things like that. But also I supported some people that were in the hospitals with COVID. So people look at for Reiki for all these issues a lot during the pandemic because the hospitals were full. As in United States, you had a lot of problems, deaths, and people sick. Here was the same. So we used Reiki a lot to assist people during this time, and it was really good thing. During the pandemic, Reiki, people looked for Reiki a lot for many metaphysical works and what we call integrative therapy here. So Reiki was one of these therapies that people looked for. And now during, when I say what I do to people, it's very interesting because people already listen about Reiki. So when I say I'm a Reiki master, they say, oh, Reiki, oh, that thing that relax and it's good for the health. And one day I was introducing myself to a doctor here in Brazil. It was very interesting because it was a medical doctor and a physician. So he was saying, "Oh, what do you do? What do you do?" So, and I said, "I'm a Reiki master." And he looked at me, "Oh, this is a really good thing. You know, my daughter needs it because she's not feeling well. Could you do some Reiki sessions to her? Give some Reiki sessions to her?" And I said, "Oh, of course." But it was a physician that asked me this. So it's a really good thing. And also, but the medical field, I think it's getting more open. And I have also some students that are doctors or they studied in the college to become a doctor. And we also have it really opened in the veterinary field. So we have many therapists, many veterinaries that work with integrative therapy here, and they are looking for Reiki each time more. So this is also very interesting that we are joining this with the medical field, both for humans and animals.
Well, thank you. And I just want to clarify for people, I think, to make sure they heard the word veterinary in that. So that
yes, sorry, sometimes my pronunciation is not so good.
It's okay. That's why I just thought, well, I'll clarify that just in case anybody couldn't quite hear the word. So I think you had told me too that they have reached out to you from the veterinary hospitals or universities about Reiki with animals too. So can you tell us about that?
Yes, this year a veterinary school looked for for me, and it was very interesting because we were given the ICRT animal Reiki classes, and it was a group of veterinaries that want to bring these integrative therapies to the universities. So I know a lot of veterinary people, they said, I would like you to introduce this animal Reiki to the veterinaries. And now we have some classes inside the university here for veterinaries, but open it also for other people.
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
so teaching it in the veterinary universities.
Yes, it is. And it is ICRT Animal Reiki that's arriving there. So it's really exciting.
Well, and you do a lot of your practice is on Reiki and animals, right?
Yes, most of my practice, because I started with the animals, I also work with people and also with the families of the animals. But one thing, it's very interesting because of my connection with the animals, that was what started my Reiki practice. I think people is comfortable to look for me to give Reiki sessions to their animals.
That's one of the things we've really found with the animal Reiki too, is that often it is going to include their families, their caregivers, because, well, for a number of reasons, but a lot of times the animals actually are taking on what their people have. Why don't you share some of your ideas about that or stories about that with Reiki, with animals, and the that human connection, because we talk about that in the class, like the combined sessions. So how are you doing that? Share with us about that.
It's very interesting because people came to look for a session for their animal, and we explained that sometimes it's very important to treat also to give some sessions to the family members because of this connection. It really happens. It's very interesting to when we analyze the energy, when we feel the energy of the animal and the caregivers, the family. It's really connected. Some points of that are imbalanced. So we can feel the connection of them. But sometimes the family is like we feel that they want to give the Reiki to the animals instead of receive Reiki, and we have to explain that and accept it. Sometimes it's complicated. It's interesting to see that some of the family members, when we give some Reiki to the family, sometimes they feel guilt. It's interesting because they should feel really well, and sometimes I feel they would like to give everything to the animal. It's very interesting, but and other family members receive better. And it's really interesting to see how the family receiving with the animal make everything much better for both of them, because the animals, it's clear for me in my sessions, because I talk a lot with the caregivers and I listen at them, and sometimes when I'm listening, I can feel that the issue is related to the family too. And giving some Reiki to the family is really important. And when I have the opportunity to give a Reiki session to the animal and to the people, to the family members, human family members, it's amazing and is so beautiful. And sometimes we can see that the animals want us to give Reiki to the family. They ask this. And we see that the results are much better when we give Reiki to the whole family. When the family doesn't want to receive Reiki jointly with the animal for any reason, doesn't have time or something like that, I used to give not a Reiki session, but use for example, some techniques that we learned during the ICRT in Reiki, like the circle of the divine animal kingdom and things like that, and give some Reiki to the house, and ask some lights and blessings to the family, and giving some Reiki to situations that also. So with this, we can help something more, of course, with the accordance with the family.
Well, I really love that, because it is one of the things that we see commonly. The animals are very in tune with their caregiver. And so let's say, even if it's a wild animal, maybe it's in tune with, its pack or its herd. But they're so in tune with their family that what I've seen, and actually your case and my case, I actually received Reiki because of my horse too. And he went lame at 5 years old. And when I asked him what happened, he said he went lame to deliver me to my power to heal, and showed me putting hands on him, which I knew was Reiki. And the same thing happened where, just like you, I was so compelled immediately, like I have to do more of this, and really thought that I would be working on animals a lot. And then he actually told me I needed to work on people first. And so learning both, and I know a lot of people, when they learn animal Reiki or taking animal Reiki, they'll often say, well, I don't want to work on people. But really, when you work on animals, you still work on people, because the animals ask you. That's the whole piece, is often. And when we say ask you, that's an impression, of course. Now, with my horse, I actually had images and heard, like a sound with, I went lame to deliver you to your power to heal. But mostly it's through observation of the circumstance with the animals that you realize that they've brought you in to work on their whole life situation. And I love that you mentioned raking the house, their space, their caregivers, and it can be done, without the caregivers having to be focused in that moment. So that works too, but I love the way that you said that.
No, thank you. I think it's good because something you can do something for them, so it can be more complete. And we have techniques, good techniques to work with them. So let's use it. I think it's because of this that we go to the Reiki trainings, and we study a lot, is to give the best session we can. So I think it's we can find some solutions.
Well, and so often for the animals, they are caregiving their caregiver. And we talk a lot about compassion fatigue that they can experience. And one of the things that I've really noticed is often, feels like the animal is asking for attention for themselves, but really what they're doing is giving their person the attention. Like, let's say they're staring at you and want to be on your lap. In their mind, they're giving to you, when often in our minds we can be like, I don't have time to give you attention right now, or whatever, and actually the animals are so engaged in our well-being that they're always thinking about us.
They are. It's amazing. It's amazing how we feel after giving a Reiki session to an animal. I think it's impressive when I connect with an animal, even in distance Reiki. I can feel their happiness receiving Reiki. And after a session, it's impressive how I feel happy because of their energy. So I think we really share this moment with them, even in a session or with our animals in our houses. And when we are giving in-present sessions, I think they are always sharing their love with us. So when I give some Reiki session to an animal, even if I don't know the animal, I can feel really good things, and I feel lighter and happier. It's amazing to work with them.
Well, also you talked about Reiki being widely used in human hospitals as well too in Brazil. So
Yeah,
can you share about that?
sure. Here in Brazil, especially in São Paulo and the state of São Paulo, we have some hospitals that already use Reiki in cases, for example, of cancer, especially in cases of cancer. And we have some big hospitals here in São Paulo that they have departments with integrative therapies, including Reiki. And this is I think that is very interesting. And I had the opportunity to give a Reiki session once to my mother. She was in ICU, intensive care. years ago, and some years ago. And I was there visiting her, and I started to give her a Reiki session. I didn't say anything to anyone, just started there. And the nurses just saw that what I was doing and said to every other nurse or doctor that would approach her to not interrupt what I was doing, because I was doing Reiki. And she knew exactly what I was doing there. And when I finished it, she said, "You were giving her Reiki, right?" And I said, "Yes, I was doing. Oh, this is really nice, good thing." And she knew about that and worked like I was doing something normal for the hospital. And this was really interesting thing. Other interesting thing that happened one day was a student that sent to me a picture of the power symbol in the back of a furniture in the hospital. Inside a hospital room was there the power symbol in the back of a furniture there. But it was amazing because it was something inside the hospital that put the symbol there. So I thought, oh my God, they really are using here the Reiki. And also in the public hospitals, we have an approach that people can receive Reiki. In the whole Brazil, all public hospitals in Brazil, we have this regulated by our legislation, that we have Reiki as a therapy inside the hospitals, public hospitals too. And some people can go there and give connect with the hospitals and give Reiki to people. I have also a student that is in Brasilia, that is the capital of Brazil, and she used it to give a lot of Reiki sessions inside public hospitals. It's really nice thing.
So it's actually part of your legislation?
Exactly. Our legislation accepts Reiki. We have also in these public hospitals regulated, but also we have the professional of Reiki therapist here. And also we can open a company as Reiki practitioner. So we can open a company and we pay taxes also. And regarding this, this is an occupation, a profession here.
Wow. That's just amazing. And
It is.
so with the hospitals, is it something that they give to, that the practitioners give to the existing patients rather than people going to the hospital to seek Reiki?
Usually is people that is in some kind of treatment or has to be inside of the hospitals. But here in São Paulo, we also have a psychiatric hospital, public hospital, that gives 1 day for people that goes there to treat themselves, and they receive Reiki there also, jointly with aromatherapy and other therapies there. It's very nice.
And then how about for the staff? Are the staff in the hospitals getting trained in Reiki or receiving it for their own self-care?
Sometimes they give some training for people. So there is some hospitals that I've heard that they gave some training for people, but sometimes people receive the training outside the hospital and go to the hospital to give Reiki. It happens both ways.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, that's exciting that it's really widely practiced in all, it sounds like all the fields, with the universities, the hospitals, and in the scientific community.
Yeah, I think we are living a moment in Brazil with Reiki that it's growing a lot. People is looking for not only to receive, but to study too. And it's very interesting how people, how we met people that already received a Reiki class, and someone that already received some Reiki. This is really nice. Of course, it's growing. Not everybody knows about Reiki, but something that's growing. And I think in places like São Paulo, where I live, it's growing a lot, and it's reaching other parts of Brazil. As I have, because of the online classes, I have some students in all parts of the country. So it's very nice to see in a class, because Brazil is a big country. And it's very nice to see people studying in the south of Brazil and the north of Brazil, everybody together. And sometimes they are in the capitals, and sometimes they are in the countryside, but people is coming, and this is really nice to see how they are approaching, and they feel they need to share Reiki and give classes, and it's growing. It's very nice to see it.
You were saying that the kind of time during the pandemic, things have really also, like that period for some reason has really helped it to grow.
Yes, I think it was the need. It was very interesting because during the first year of the pandemic, I was giving classes every weekend. I worked a lot with Reiki, and it was just after I received the Holy Fire Reiki in a class with William Lee Rand. So it helped a lot to work with Reiki online and distant Reiki, because before of that, I always worked in presence. And then I learned how to do this better online and this in distance. So I think it helped me a lot, and helped people to connect in distance. And also my agenda as practitioner was really full. I worked a lot during the first year, and it was the need. I think when we have a difficult moment, we have to look for solutions and help people. And I think Reiki was a thing so important to people during the pandemic, to assist them, to make them healthier and emotionally balanced, because it is something that really relaxes us and helps us to heal. And sometimes we listen that the online classes should not be given, and Reiki attunements in distant way was not the best way, but with Holy Fire was really amazing this. And my Reiki sessions in distance was much better than my in presence Reiki sessions before. So I changed everything, and I think Reiki changed to assist people. I really believe that. Like in 1923, when we had the Kanto earthquake, and Mikao Sui went to help people, to assist people with Reiki, and he developed a lot of Reiki there. I think during the pandemic, it also happened. So Reiki was a force to assist people during this time. And here in Brazil, it worked like that for me.
I agree with that, and how it changed, how it assisted and evolved with us and for us in a way that we could receive it online. And really, at the very beginning of the pandemic, most people did not know how to be online this way. And it's also incredible what Reiki has done for the outreach. And like you say, Brazil is a very big country, and being able to reach people at all different, in all different locations without them having to travel, with the additional expense and challenge of traveling, that it really opened it up, as you say, in a great time of need.
Exactly. I think this was the point, and I think this moment didn't finish yet because people is still worried, and we had the war in Ukraine, and it didn't finish yet. And here in Brazil, we have a lot of discussions now because of politics, and the moment is complicated. So I think Reiki is still important, still is important, and the World Peace upgrade is helping a lot. It's amazing how people feel more in peace and can be calmer and develop what they need to do with this energy. So I think Reiki is still helping us in this complicated moment.
Yeah, I think that Brazil is as well. I think the whole world is very complicated right now. And I mean, it probably always has been, but it's amplified. And then the other side of all of the global communications in a good way. And also, we know so much now in comparison to before, but it feels like Reiki is what we can do. And I ask myself all the time, like, what can I do to contribute wellness? How can we make a difference? And, you know, help us get through, me individually, then of course with my family, but you know, in the big collective of humanity and the earth. And what can I personally do to make a difference? And I do feel like Reiki is that difference.
I think so. I believe in this position, this idea too. I think Reiki is something that we can give to the world to make it better and help people to be better and to grow and to open their conscience. It's so important for everybody. I am one person that thinks everybody should learn Reiki since ever. And what a world we would have if everybody would be a Reiki practitioner. So would be really nice.
Yeah, what if if we taught the children really early and taught them Reiki skills? And I mean, we are doing that in our own families, but what if it was everybody? And that was the message we brought to children.
Yes, I think so. And there is a project in Portugal that people is bringing also to Brazil that is to teach Reiki in schools. So I know that there are some practitioners in Portugal that are teaching Reiki to children in schools. And they are trying to bring it to Brazil, to people that connect with kids are trying to bring it to Brazil too. So it's something really nice that could happen.
Well, with so much support from the medical and scientific communities, it seems like that would be very possible then. And as you get more teachers trained, so more teachers can teach teachers who teach teachers, and the ripple effect, and you know how that would be taught in schools. It seems like it's really possible there.
I think so. I think so. And there are some schools that are really open to this kind of approach. So I think it's something that could happen soon. I think Reiki in the world is growing in a beautiful way. So well, what I can say, it's amazing that we are living this now, and it's, I think, mainly amazing that we have Reiki to help us in this moment.
Yeah. So you talked about your space for Reiki. Do you have like you said you have a center. So do you actually have a center where people bring their animals to you? Or I know you said you just started back in-person classes. So how is that working for you?
Well, during the pandemic, what happened is that I started to be together with my students a lot because I felt they needed this connection, and we did it online. I first started my practice in a center outside of my house. Then I brought it to my house, and I used it to give the classes here because I live in a house with a garden and I have animals, and people used to give Reiki to my animals, training with them. And but with the pandemic, when we started to do everything online, and with the online classes, I started to be with the students in the first year 3 times a week. So we had a moment that we gave Reiki to everybody that needed in a group online. So we had this moment to give Reiki, a moment to practice Reiki, and a moment to study about Reiki. So, and make the Japanese Reiki techniques and things like that. So I used it to be 3 times during a week. So when we were doing like that, I said, whoa, we are really a Reiki center here. We are doing a lot of practice and help a lot of people. And I use it to, we gave these sessions in a group for free to assist people and the animals. People that were in a really bad situation, physical, emotional, and animals too, cases of end of life, animals and people, and we could assist a lot of people. Then today we do this once a week, but the first year we were doing this 3 times a week because I felt it was needed too. And this was really a good moment. Now we have every Tuesday night, we are together and we share or some experience, or we do some Reiki practice, Japanese Reiki techniques, or we talk about some important subject about Reiki, how to use. I share some experience, or we do this moment to share Reiki with some people and make jointly Reiki sessions to very complicated cases. So because of this, I felt we became a center.
Yes.
Now we, yes, now we are starting again to bring the in-presence classes, but I feel that we are going to be more online than in presence. So we had these 2 classes now, the Reiki 1 and 2 and the Master were amazing. It was amazing to be in presence again. The energy was amazing. And probably next year, we'll have it again. Once each semester, probably we'll have this in presence, but we will keep it online too. And it was really nice to come back to in-presence classes because I could feel that in presence and online both are amazing, and would be amazing if everybody could do both classes, because in the online classes, we learn a lot about distant Reiki. And in presence classes, we go to the Reiki table and the people see the positions on the body. And it is each way is complementary to the other, I think. So, and both are amazing. So it was really nice to be in both situations, online and in presence. I think it was great. And but we will still be much more online than in presence here.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm in that same place of, you know, we teach most of them or all of them online right now. And so it is that, okay, when do we add some in-person classes? And at the same time, the outreach is so much easier with the online because people can join from all over the world. So just like this, and they do.
Like me?
I was going to say.
Just like you.
Well, we met you, Sue.
Exactly, just like that. But seriously, like in our distance Reiki shares on Tuesday mornings, we have, and anywhere from now it's around 100 people a week that join from all over the world. And I just love that. And all of our Reiki classes, there's always people that are international as well as around the country. And the US, of course, is a really big country like Brazil too. So yeah, it's that big dilemma, but I think it'll get to the place where we'll do some of each, and then some of them will be what are called hybrid, where they can be both online and in person at the same time. So we did that years ago with our Next Step Reiki classes, where we had some people that were local that would join us in person, and then other people who were at a distance and would join online. So it does work.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I am one of your students that
Yes.
came around the world, and every time that I can, I go to join during the Tuesdays. This Reiki circle is amazing. So it's really nice. I feel it's amazing to be there and listen and doing the invocations, and it's really good thing that you two do there.
Oh, thank you. Well, what kind of upcoming events do you have going on?
We'll have now in November 19, we have a lecture in a symposium of veterinaries that we are going to talk about longevity of the animals, because the animals are living each time more. And I was invited to talk about Reiki and longevity there. And it's really exciting because we'll be inside our university and to the veterinaries. And it's really nice because I'm not a veterinary, but they invite me to go and talk to them about that. So I'm really honored and excited to do that. We are going to have Reiki Master online in December, in the beginning of December, and Reiki 1 and 2 with this veterinary school in January, and Animal Reiki 1 and 2 in February, both with this veterinary school. So it will be a course of extension of university training, so people can receive the certificates of the university like that. It would be really nice thing. And also, of course, the Reiki Membership Association certificate.
Oh, that is so good.
Really amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I think you said something about you have a Reiki Congress coming up.
Oh, actually, you have a Reiki
Well, I do
Congress.
too.
No, I mean, this Congress is a symposium for the university that I was talking about earlier. So,
okay. Well, when you use the word Congress, I'm wondering now, because I know that it's used in the one I'm presenting in, and now using it this way too. Is that like a Reiki event or presentation, or I'm
Summit.
just trying to understand the word Congress with it.
okay, it's a moment when people came and talk about give some lecture about some subject, like I would talk about Reiki and longevity. When you are going to the International Congress, we are talking about animal Reiki and things like that. So people came to specialized people came to talk about some specific subjects.
Okay, thank you. Well, I thought so, and I figured that's what it was, but now that I see it used in multiple with the International Congress that I'm presenting at, I just thought of that as, oh, that's the name. But now that I see it's also used in ones you're presenting, then it's a whole word that is used in Brazil to indicate the gathering of the presenters.
Yeah, in Portuguese, Congress means congresso. We say Congresso is very similar word. We have many kinds of presentations like that. So the one that you are going to give is the International Congress, International Reiki Congress, that it came through in Brazil. In Portuguese, we say Congresso Internacional de Reiki. And the one that I'm going to participate, it will be right after yours, will be a symposium. That in Portuguese is symposium, also really close words. And that is a day inside the university that we are going to talk about integrative therapies, and including I will talk about Reiki and longevity.
And that's for the veterinary students?
Yes, it is for mainly for the veterinary students, but people that work with animals and like animals and caregivers also can participate.
Okay, so it's open to everyone.
Yeah.
It sounds like I think we probably use the word summit, like we have the Reiki Race
Oh, there
Summit.
we go.
Summit, yes.
Yeah, there's
exactly.
online
Okay.
summits in a lot of different fields and topics and things like that. I think that's what it would.
Yes, this is the word. You are perfectly right. And I think you both are going to talk in a Reiki Summit soon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have the
Yes.
Reiki Race Summit coming up that we're presenters in, and it might be going on when this episode airs in November, right around that time.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I will watch.
Okay, I like that. And actually, Robyn and I probably could have talked about it and gotten to the word summit, but I was like, because Congress here, of course, is where our laws are made. And so, that's our, that's our,
Oh, sure, of
yeah.
course.
So that's why I was just
Government.
asking to clarify it in
Sure, because when we look for in the dictionary, of course, Congress is also for us. It's the same word that we use. Congress is the same word. So sorry that I used this word. It was not the appropriate word. So for you, it's the summit. So, and for us, it is this word works for both things, actually.
Okay, well, yeah, I know we want to hear what it is for you as much as so we know what that means, because now I'm seeing quite a bit on social media about it, but it is in Portuguese. So I know that they're talking about these events, but because I'm connected in, of course, to those social media accounts. I know that it's connected to those events, so it's just helpful to kind of just have a bigger understanding of what it is.
Sure, sure. Here in Brazil, the word Congress translated means a moment like a summit. It's a summit, but also means the place that we create the laws. So it's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the same word.
It makes sense though, if you think about the Congress that we make laws, they talk, they present, they, kind of share ideas, things like that. And so it makes sense that it would also be called a Congress and like a summit or symposium or presentations. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
the things we learn every day, right? I love it.
Yes, and I am learning too, because English is not my first language. So I'm sorry if sometimes I don't use the correct word. So I'm learning too. And because I read a lot, and writing and listening for me is really clear. So, but I don't talk much. I talk a lot with Colleen right now, but I don't have to talk now much as I used it to before. So probably sometimes it's complicated to say something. So if you don't understand something, please ask me. It's okay.
Well, actually, as we were talking, I was just thinking about how what a great job you do with speaking English, and very understandable. So let's take that to the conversation about you are translating some of the manuals into Portuguese.
Yes, I
So,
am.
right. So do you want to talk about that?
Well, it's something really nice to do, because when I go to translate, I dive into the subjects and all the training and the meaning and the profound what you all are trying to bring to us through these documents. And for me, is something that creates a bond with the energy, a stronger bond, I feel, because it's like diving there. I as a Reiki master teacher, it's amazing for me. I really like to do that. I have some assistants from a translator, professional translator, and that assists me. And so I'm not doing this all alone, but it's really interesting because when I'm doing the translation, I feel this dive into these books that you, Colleen, Robyn, Pamela, So Strong, and William wrote. And for me, it was really interesting how it worked, because I never expected to do that. It was something that I never thought I could do. Because what happened is I received the Holy Fire Tree Karuna Reiki Master online, and I felt a strong direction that I should use Holy Fire to teach Reiki. So I started to teach Reiki with Holy Fire at once. I never thought, oh, maybe I will or not, was at once. And I started to look for people that were teaching Holy Fire Reiki in Brazil. And I did not find people that were teaching. And I started to wonder why people is not, because I look at the Holy Fire list in Reiki.org website, and I saw many names that looked like Brazilian names. And I said, why people is not teaching? Why I cannot find it? And then I realized that it was because the manuals were not in Portuguese, so things would be more complicated. Then during the class, I felt I could help with the translations. During this class, I felt there that I could help the translations, and William allowed me to do that. And was amazing thing that happened, because I started to translate it like fast, was really fast. Something I think I connected with some purpose that I have here, because it was right after the training. And this was something that I did with all my heart and fast, and I felt I needed to do that. It was stronger than my rational part, my conscious part was something that was probably behind it. And well, it was amazing, really. And I felt so good to translate the first manual, that when I received, I had the Reiki 1 and 2 and the master training, I asked it to translate the Usui Holy Fire Tree Reiki Master Manual. And again, I did with all my heart. This work was something that I wanted to do an excellent job there. And I think it is a very good work that I could do that moment. Then came the animal Reiki training, and I could not wait to ask. After I did the training, I already asked it, and we waited to the finishing of the editing of the manuals to start the translation. And between this moment when I was waiting, I I thought, whoa, maybe I could also translate the Reiki Healing Touch, the manual for Reiki 1 and 2. Then I asked, and William said, yes, you can. So I started to translate. I'm finishing it now, actually. It's in the really the end of the work now. And then I will restart the other works. And doing that, something that fills my heart with passion and for Reiki. And it's like that, as I said, when I'm doing this, I feel I'm diving there in the world of holy fire and the tree of life and animal Reiki and divine animal kingdom and the heavens and everything. It's amazing. So it's something that I really like to do. And I could never thought I would like to do something like that. I think it's something not so difficult for me, because when I worked as a lawyer, I used it to make agreements in English and Portuguese together. So for me, when I see a document English, Portuguese is easy to deal with that, because I had a boss that was really restrictive with the wording. So when you're what do you want to say when you write like this? What exactly what you want to say? It must be exactly in English and in Portuguese. So that moment I didn't like that, but now I know that it was so important to me, because now when I check, when, for example, when I receive the document for the translator that is helping me, I check every word, every meaning, and I think and I think and I check and I take the dictionary and the expressions and I Google the terms, it's exactly like that or not. So it's something that I do in detail. So, and it's really nice for me that I had this experience that was, that moment I didn't like it, but I had that experience. And anything that I believe really that everything that happens in our lives, it's important. And if I hadn't had that experience years ago, when I was starting my practice as a lawyer, probably now I could not do a good job. So it's interesting how things work, and that we have to trust our paths in life. So it's like that for me to translate the manuals.
I love that kind of full circle, and probably a bit healing now in this time frame, as that's, you know, you're in a fulfilled and happy, and you know, as you're doing this filled with passion with it too, from the previous experience of a similar thing.
Yes, it is. I'm really, it healed my experience before. And it's so interesting because people say, oh, because of the way I grew, I chose Reiki instead of become, for example, a psychologist. And people said, oh, if you choose another profession or veterinary or something like that, probably your path would be easier than it was, sorry. But when I think about the line of my life, I know that everything happened as should be, because it made me to do the things that I do now. And it's amazing that I had that experiences that I didn't like, but now I work with this. And it's interesting because with my lawyer background, my background regarding law, I can understand many things regarding companies. And as we talked here about tax codes and professional codes and legislation. And was interesting because when we were bringing the Karuna Reiki, we talked about a lot of trademarks, and I understood how worked the trademarks here in Brazil and international trademarks and things like that. and also the copyrights for the books and the register of copyrights here in Brazil and things like that. It was easier for me to do that. And if I didn't have this background, probably would be more difficult. So it's perfect like it was, no problem.
Amazing.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it's interesting because Lena Takahashi is translating it into Japanese. And she said the same thing about the translation work, is how much it just really dives you into the concepts and the ideas and really understanding, all of it and the work. So that's interesting.
Yeah, she says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
A
Wow.
deep dive into it.
Yeah.
Wow, probably it's because it's all connected.
Yeah.
They said, oh, you are going there and you do these translations because people there need to receive it. So probably it's like that. Amazing. How Reiki works. It's how Reiki works. Amazing. The energy guides us exactly to what we need. And to trust this energy is something that I learned a lot during the last years. And it's been an amazing experience.
In Portuguese, it's pronounced Reiki, like with an H, more of an
Yes, Reiki.
Reiki.
Yeah, sometimes I correct myself saying Reiki because I know that is like you say, but here we say Reiki.
Reiki.
It's
Oh, well, that's good to know. That would have been a good first question. Well, speaking of Lena, now bringing her up, you are planning to go on the trip to Japan with us, right?
yes, I already have the tickets.
You do.
Yes, the flights. Yes, I already have, and it will be amazing to be there with you in Japan. It's a dream that is coming true. Since 2019, I'm dreaming about that, and now it's going to happen.
And you are doing which class? Are you doing both, did you say? The
No,
Reiki Master?
I'm going to the Karuna Reiki Master
You're
there.
going to the Karuna Reiki Master. Okay. Well, in addition, we are making the arrangements on April 15th to go to Taniai Village, the birthplace where Yusui was born. And did you watch the 100-year celebration?
Yes,
So the priest is, we're going to do that, and the priest will be doing a ceremony, and we will also be with the Taniai Reiki organization and doing a Reiki share. So we're getting all that information out this week. So that should be out before this is posted. So
I want to be there. Great, amazing. Would be
yeah.
It would be amazing. I'm dreaming about having this class in Kuramayama, and it will be amazing. Cannot wait to that.
It is extraordinary, and really the energy is just extraordinary. So I'm so glad you'll be there, because I'll probably actually meet you in person there.
Yes, it will be amazing. And I'm planning to participate of one of the Reiki retreats, probably not next year, but I'm planning to go to participate probably 2023, because next year I'm going to Japan. So, but probably the other year I'll be there.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, the Reiki retreat in Sedona. Oh, you'll love it. 2024.
Wow, it'll be amazing. Yeah, 24, exactly. I said that I have problems with numbers.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you want to share, or anything we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, no, just to say that it's been amazing to be with you all of ICRT and the licensed Reiki Master teachers. I'm learning a lot. It's an impressive process that and so professional that everybody's doing there. And to have you, Colleen, as my mentor is amazing. And well, it's really, really good things that are happening. I hope I can help people each time more with Reiki. And it was amazing to have all this training with all of you, Robyn, Colleen, Sue Strong, Pamela, William, all of my teachers here in ICRT. I'm really honored to be here, and I know that this lots of trainings that I did with all of you is helping me to grow as a person and to bring each time more to my students. So thank you a lot for giving this to us, all this energy and knowledge.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the level that you are bringing into, you know, your home and area and communities. And we are, excuse me, really excited that you decided to join the LRMT program. So
Can't wait.
it goes both ways.
And can't wait to see all the things. Like, it's so exciting to see all the things that are happening in Brazil and what happens with the veterinary programs. And I know you'll keep us all updated on that. It's just extraordinary. So thank you for all of that work as well. It's really amazing. Hopefully it leads the way for other countries as well, you know.
Yes, we hope so. I think Reiki will be the future. I really think it will be the future. All these therapies, Reiki and energetic therapies, I think they will help a lot of people each time more. So it will be really good in the future.
Well, can you say your website address one more time? And again, we will put it in the description so people can see it.
Is Reiki e felicidade.com. It's like Reiki and happiness.com, but it's in Portuguese. So Reiki e felicidade.com.
And
Thank
so
you.
you spell it Reiki, it's Reiki, E FELICIDADE.com. And so, like, we'll put it in the description, but just so people can kind of get a visual of how you spell it. Yeah. And also, I just wanted to say real quick too that you know, we're starting to, for all the listeners, that we're starting to put these episodes now on our YouTube channel. And so you can also go and see, it's nice to see everybody talk and in person and stuff. So you can check out the episodes on YouTube as well.
Oh, thank you. It would be amazing to see this conversation there too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Colleen, and this is also Robyn here with Sue. And any of the things you want to find with us, go to reikilifestyle.com.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Big blessings to all. And again, thank you, Sue and Robyn.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Sue. It was great to spend this time with you.
Thank you. It was great to be here with all of you. Amazing. Thank you.